Hello, everyone. Sorry, I had some technical problems coming on live. For some reason, the internet just has a mind of its own. Sorry, Kwavi. Sorry. I've been trying since 12:59 to get on, and I just haven't been able to. So, Kwavi, give me a couple, maybe 1 minute. Let's just try for 60 seconds to see if a few more people will join us. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. So we have our own minds, and the internet and technology has its own mind. So sorry about that, but I'm so excited for today's show. I'm excited about it on many levels. I'm excited, number one, because the guest is a very good friend of mine, Kwavi. Number two, because we're both midlifers and we both still try to, stay fit and keep ourselves in shape and all of that. And also because the holidays are getting close. Yeah, the holidays, I purposely scheduled Kwavi for 1st of November, just right after Halloween with all the chocolates, but before Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, so that we can all get eating habits right, because honestly we all know how it goes. For me, there's no holiday that I don't put on about 5 to 7 pounds, and then I have to try to get it off. So Kwavi is going to help us get all that in check and all our healthy habits in check. So anyway, my name is Dr. Iyabo. If we've never met, you can go to my bio to read all about me. I'm a pediatrician, an entrepreneur, a blogger, a speaker, an author, and a life coach for women. And I'm going to bring Kwavi on now. So yes, let's bring Kwavi on, and everybody pray that technology day. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Hi, Kwavi. I love how technology just makes us like so close, right?
I know.
I know.
Let me increase the volume. Okay. Good.
We don't see each other that often, but technology makes it seem like, we're next to each other. So thank God for that. Yes. Hi, Nika. So yes, welcome. So everyone, this is Kwavi. I'm sure a lot of you already know her, because we do have many friends in common. But for people who don't know Kwavi, I'm going to give you, her bio is pretty long. I'm going to give you a summarized portion, and then she can tell you more. Kwavi is a certified weight and life coach, and she looks amazing at 53.
52.
52. Yeah. I added one more, 52.
That's
she
fine.
looks like she's 35. She's a certified weight and life coach, a speaker, and international retreats creator that helps successful women manage their health, their mindset, and their waistlines. She uses her coaching programs and retreats to help and inspire women all over the world to transform their lives and bodies, and in the process, women experience a new lease on life. So she'll tell you more as we go on. Kwavi hosts luxury retreats in many parts of the world. I think she's having one coming up next year, and she's opened another one, but she'll tell you all about that. And then Kwavi, you have a conference coming up.
Yes, next week.
Next
week, Saturday. Yes.
Yeah, and Kwavi has a conference, a women's. Tell them about, introduce yourself and tell them about the conference, and then we'll start.
All right. Hi, everyone. Glad to see you all on. My name is Kwavi. I'm a certified weight and life coach, just like what Iyabo said. And I love helping women so that they can live their best life. And that for me means finding a way so that they can manage their weight and maintain, so that they can live a life that is just, the way that they want. Because I really believe we all have our own way in which we want to live our lives. The conference she's talking about is happening next week, and it's called Now is the Time. And the reason why I created this event is because I feel that women, most times we're doing so many different things and we really don't step back to think about ourselves. So I created that event, and it's a virtual event. So wherever you are, you can participate. I created that event because I wanted women to spend a few hours just on themselves, just really focused on themselves, because most times we don't do that. And I have speakers coming in. They're going to be talking about, being bold. I have someone who's going to talk about meditation. I have another one that's going to be talking about sex. So it's all about the things that pertain to us in midlife, specifically women in midlife, because we've done so much. And I just want us to have our own time. And I titled it Now Is the Time, because I really feel now is the time.
Yes. Did you hear that, guys? Sex is going to be part of the conference.
Yes. Yes. I have a sex therapist.
That's wonderful. Yes. So if you're a midlifer, when we're done, please check Kwavi's page at Kwavi TV.
Kwavi.com. Actually, if you go to my bio on Instagram, the link is right there. But yes, Kwavi_TV is my Instagram handle.
Okay, I just typed Kwavi.com. Okay, so we're going to dive in now, because 1 hour always goes by fast, and I know you're a busy woman too, Kwavi. So let's start with this. What does being healthy mean to you?
Okay, so
Nika also likes the idea of sex. All the midlifers that are on here are bad.
Yeah, I know. It's like, no, seriously though, just let me say this though. Because we're older doesn't mean that we can't do these things. So I'm just saying, okay. But anyway, moving on to answer your question. So for me, being healthy is being in a state of mind where I can do the things that I really enjoy. So, if I want to spend time with my family, we want to go on different adventures, I don't feel like my health is preventing me from doing that. When I speak with clients, sometimes they tell me that, they want to do this with their grandchildren and they can't do it because, they don't have that energy, or when they do it, they feel tired. So for me, health and wellness, and it differs from each person, but what is it that you really want to do in life that your health is preventing you from doing, whether it's physically, emotionally, or spiritually?
So guys, that's what healthy means. It's very simple. I like the way Kwavi defined it. It's just being in a state of mind where you can do anything you want to do in life. And that's so true, because if you're not healthy, everything else is secondary. You can want to work, you can want to meet the man of your dreams, make money. If you're not healthy, you can't do any of them.
No.
So being healthy is being free. It's like being free, right? It's like,
it's such a freedom. Oh yeah, there's a freedom associated with it for sure. Yeah, because you can now do those things without thinking, I can't do this because, I don't feel that I can, or I don't feel I can do this because when I do it, I feel winded, so those are the different things. Yeah. Okay.
So now I want to talk about the practical things first. When you talk to people about maintaining healthy habits, they quickly want to tell you, it's because you're a doctor, or it's because you're well. Sorry, that was my daughter calling me. I told her not to call me, and she's still calling me. Sorry, that's what teenagers do. Anyway, so people will always give you the excuses that, veggies are expensive, or this is expensive, or they can't afford a virtual trainer. And I try to break it down for them that these things can be gotten without being wealthy. So Kwavi, because these are difficult times for people are, they're really struggling financially and all that. So with exercise and diet, how can we get it done on a budget?
Okay. So the first thing I do want to say though, is when women come to me, there are 3 things that they have to have in order to even start this whole process. The first thing is a willingness to even do it. Because sometimes people say, I want to lose weight, or I want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and they're not even in the frame of mind to do it because they're not ready. So first of all, you have to be willing. And I normally say the willingness is about 10 to 20%. And the next part is the strategy part, where I tell them what they can do. And that part is probably about 40 to 50% of the work. They have to be, so when I tell them what to do, and I tell people it has nothing to do with exercise. Exercise is great. I look at exercise as a gift you give to yourself, but exercise does not perform the goal of losing weight. That's not the goal of exercise. And I like to tell people, and people, you might be on, you might disagree, but I'm just telling you, read the facts. Exercise will not get to your goal of losing weight.
True.
So, so I can tell them strategy. The other part that I think is key, which is also about 40 to 50%, is your mind. Because your mind is going to play the mind drama that is associated with trying to lose weight or trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle is sometimes overlooked, but it's so important. I'll give you an example. So whenever you decide, okay, I'm going to embark on a new program or I'm going to do something different, your brain automatically is going to revolt. And the reason for that is your brain is not designed to welcome new things. Your brain is designed to keep you comfortable.
Yeah.
So when you think about it,
That's true.
starting a program, doing something different, that doesn't fall into comfortable. That is outside that box. So your brain is going to immediately say, oh no, why you want to do that? You know how we do things, we do it like this and you like it. And it's going to give you evidence for that doesn't work. You know, you've tried before in the past, it hasn't. So managing your mind is like 40 to 50%, 40 to 45%. So when you add that all together, if you don't have those three parts working in sync, you're facing a losing battle. Now, you asked the question about on a budget. When we look at exercise, it really doesn't have, like what I tell my clients, when they want to lose weight, I tell them it has nothing to do with the amount of money that you have. You can find equivalent. Okay, I'll give you an example. Not everyone is advocating you have to go buy organic food. That's not, you don't have to. You can live a very healthy lifestyle on frozen items. And frozen items are not that pricey. Seriously, they're not. And beans, for instance, is a very good source of protein.
I love beans. Beans,
yes,
right? Yeah.
And it's inexpensive.
People forget beans, and beans are so good. Yeah.
It's inexpensive. It's in this country. So you really don't have to go all out and say, okay, I have to buy this. And I don't even advocate for like shakes and supplements and all these different. Listen, you can live a healthy lifestyle on a budget easily and maintain it too. You can. So don't let your mind tell you otherwise, because your mind will say, oh, well, you can, you don't have, no. Challenge those thoughts.
And as you were talking, I'm writing notes down and I have so many other questions for you. But I do want to mention with the shakes, people make the mistake, Kwavi, right, of thinking that they can drink a milkshake or a smoothie and then eat afterwards. No. They don't understand that the smoothie is a meal replacement. So can you please clarify that now?
Yes. So if you do decide that you want to go the shake or the shakes or the supplement smoothie route, that is your meal. That is considered a meal. And also too, for those making smoothies, one of the things that you also want to do is when you do smoothies, please do not add more than 1 or 2 fruits in your smoothies. Once you start to add 3 and 4, the benefit is no longer there because you're putting a lot of sweet items. When you use smoothies, you have to have vegetables in it.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, you're more or less drinking dessert.
Yes. So that I wanted to clarify that, because if you have a smoothie in the morning and then you have breakfast, bread, eggs, sausages, and then for lunch you have a smoothie snack, and then you have your beans and rice and chicken, you're going to consume double the calories. So your smoothie is, it's either or, and you don't have to have smoothies. People think smoothies, because it's the new thing, it will make them lose weight. No, smoothies are not a weight loss medicine. It's just about the calories and drinking good nutrients, right? Yeah. So Kwavi, the first thing you said was that when your clients come to you, they have to have the willingness.
Yes.
And if they don't have the willingness, there's no way you can help them.
No.
So what do you then do though if they come to you and they're like, they want to lose weight and they're not ready or they're not willing to do the work?
I tell them to come back when they're ready. I'll tell you this. Have you ever tried to drag someone to do something? Some of you listening might have kids. Sometimes your kids will say, oh, they want to play an instrument. Have you ever tried getting your child, if once they lose interest, trying to force them to do something? It doesn't, no matter how much you force them, they're never really going to do it because they don't want to. And I tell my clients, you have to have that willingness, because I can't drag you to get you to lose it, because this is for you. Ultimately, you're going to end up with the benefit, but I will help you, but I need you to have that willingness. I've always told my clients, sometimes I'll tell them they can, rather than working with me one-on-one, I tell them they can use one of my self-study programs. But that way they're working on their own. But if they really want me to work with them one-on-one, because I feel that we're wasting our time, their time and my time. And it's not worth it.
But if they don't tell you directly that they're not willing, how else can you figure out that they're not willing? Some of them may not tell you they're not willing, but then you may, from being an experienced weight loss person, how can you tell that they're not ready?
Well, most times I ask because I do a very extensive, when I have because I normally have free consult sessions. And in that session, it's very, very extensive. And I can always tell if they're not, and I'll just say, you know what? Because one of the things I do is I tell them when I start a consult, I tell them upfront, I'm like, I will let you know if you're a good fit for my program. I always tell them that in the very beginning. And
Okay.
if they're not, and I can normally tell based on the way they answer the question, I'm like, I don't think you're ready for this. And then, I'll tell them, you can do other things. And I tell them, I have a lot of free resources on my site. Use those for now. But when you're ready to invest the time and the money, come back and let's reevaluate. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this question is kind of from my pediatric practice, coaching, well, not coaching, teaching, or, asking teenagers what they eat. So we have to ask a dietary history. So let's say you see a 15-year-old who's 200 pounds. First of all, you have to know how to approach them because teenagers are very sensitive, all of that. And then you ask them, you try and take a meal dietary history over the last 1 week. And they tell you that they only eat 1 apple a day. And they're not, they're genetically big. I hear this all the time. They will never tell you the truth. Their mother, their parents too will say, oh no, she actually doesn't eat. This morning she had an apple. Yesterday she just had 1 little sandwich. That was it. It's just because we're all big in our house. Does that happen in adults too? Are they in denial of what they're eating? Do they tell you they're only eating 1 apple and they're, they don't look like they're eating 1 apple?
All right. So this is what my clients will say. Most times they'll say, but I really don't eat much. And you know what I tell them? I'm like, okay, that's relative. And what I do for every single client that starts my program, the very first week, they have to write down everything they eat and they send it to me. And most times, because they know I'm going to see it, they're a bit more, they're a bit more conscious of what they're eating. But that gives me an idea of their eating habits. And the thing is, it's all relative. Because when people say they don't eat that much, what does that really mean? I mean, that much. So, but I get them. That first week, they have to write down everything that they eat. And that's something I do in my program where they're constantly journaling because I want them to be aware. Because sometimes when you don't write, because there might be some cases where you think you don't eat a lot, but when you start to write it down, you're like, oh my goodness, I ate that much.
Yes.
You don't even know.
Mindless
eating. Awareness.
Yes, I said mindless eating because that's the problem we face as doctors, at least in pediatrics, because a lot of these kids also don't eat in the presence of their parents. Once they become teenagers, you'll find that a lot of kids and young adults tend to overeat in secret. And that's something that is really hard for us to be able to break from because their parents will say, oh, she doesn't eat. And then they blame the school. They blame the school and say it's the school lunches. So then there's that, there's always that gap like, okay, what do we do? Because she's not eating in your presence. She's eating in secret. So that's a big problem because if somebody isn't telling you, admitting to you they have a problem, how are you going to fix it?
That's it. And they have to admit. That's the first step. If they can't admit they have, then what can you can't fix it because they think everything is fine.
Yes. So guys, women, as you're listening, if it's not for you, if it's for your kids or somebody else, tell them to say the truth. If they really want to lose this weight, they have to be honest with themselves, right, Kwavi? They have to say the truth.
Oh yeah.
To the certified weight coach that this is what I'm eating, help me out with reducing my intake. Because a lot of women want to lose weight. But and this is why I'm doing this before the holidays, guys, so that you guys can start to write down the points. So Kwavi has said that it's not the lack of exercise that is making you gain weight. It's the food you're eating. Kwavi, can you expand on that, please, though? The exercise myth, because a lot of people, once you ask them, they're like, oh, but I walk every day. Oh, but I lift weights, and I'm still gaining weight. Am I developing muscle? Can you expand more on the exercise myth?
Yeah, I always tell my clients, you can exercise all day, but if you don't take a look at what you're eating, at best you may maintain, or you may even gain. Exercise has different benefits, like cardiovascular benefits. It helps us to tone. It helps us to feel good. But exercise is not for weight loss. That is not the goal of exercising. And I think a lot of us put too much pressure on exercise and we're like, oh, I'm exercising, nothing is happening. Exercise goal is not to help you lose weight. That's not the goal for for exercising. And so putting that pressure on exercise, and then you're probably not eating right, you're not going to get the benefit from it. So really focusing on what you put into your mouth, like what are you really eating? That's where you really need to put the emphasis. Like, what are you eating? That is going to help you lose weight in the long run. The exercise isn't, I look at exercise as like icing on the cake.
Yes.
But
absolutely,
your nutrition, that is the key. That is the cake. That is the main cake. Yeah.
Yes. Kwavi, what about what we drink? A lot of people run into this trouble. They go and buy the frappuccinos and the cucinos and the something chinos that are 2,000 calories, and that's just a snack. So please help us let people know about water. Water still exists in the world.
Oh, yes. Yes. So the drinks, yes. Because when I work with my clients, I tell them to write everything that they eat and everything that they drink. The unfortunate thing about drinks are they might not even make you feel full, but you're accumulating, like your body knows that you have eaten something. You've put something to your body, but you're not full. So you're going to eat something else in addition to whatever it was, whether it's a frappuccino or whatever. And the other thing too is a lot of those drinks have sugar, and sugar makes you more hungry. Like with my programs, I tell my clients to reduce their sugar. That's going to make you more hungry. You know,
I know about that sugar. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So water is still the best drink.
Yes.
What about people who tell you they don't like water? There are many people who tell you, I can't drink water, I don't like it, it has to be flavored.
Well, you know the thing, I always tell my clients that a lot of times we say we can't do something until we're faced with a situation where we have to do it. Yes. Like with our kids, like if our kids need something, we'll go ahead and do it no matter what it is, right? But for ourselves, we're like, I don't need to do that. I've seen clients that have been faced with medical situations where they're like, okay, Kwavi, I'm ready. I need to do this. Yes. Prior to that, they're like, oh, no, I can't do that. I've had clients that said they can't stop coffee, you know, different things. But when they're faced with that medical condition that they need, like their doctor has told them, this is it. Or, you know what? I don't know if you, how much time you have to live if you keep on doing this. And then they decide, okay, I'm going to do it. We always say that until we're faced with the situation. So when people say that, I just tell them they're not ready. Your health, you have to put your health as a priority. When you decide that is a priority, you're not going to say, oh, I need flavored water. You drink water because you know that that's the best for you and you're going to get the benefit from it. Yes. So, you know, people are just not ready. You can say that now. But when you're really, really take your health into account, you'll drink water. You will.
And ladies, as a doctor, women, or everybody, I think there's men on here too, I do have to say it's better to prevent illness before you get it. So you don't want to wait until the illness comes. There's some illnesses that once you have it, you have them for life. Yes. You have to be careful. Look at COVID now, how it is just taking so many brown and black people. Oh, I know there's many factors why, but one of the main factors for me and Kwavi, and I know Kwavi has the same mindset as me, we focus on things we can control. Yes. Yes, so a lot of people will focus on, oh, it's because there's racism or because the healthcare is, what's it called, racist towards brown people. All that is true, absolutely true. But there's also the big elephant in the room that we can prevent, that we can try to take care of ourselves so that we don't even need so much treatment.
That's it.
So if you're walking and you're drinking water and you're watching what you eat, then you'll only need to go for your once a year preventative medicine. You won't need to be going to the doctor for treatment. So you can blame it all you want on the government that because there's racism. And I truly understand that. Look, I'm 50 years old. I've faced racism in my life. So has lots of prejudice. Yes. But the minute you start to own your own self-power that, okay, what can I do to make my life better? Exactly. That's the minute your life will change. Yeah. So as brown as black people, we have to take lessons from this pandemic. Yes. We really have to prepare for anything else that is coming next. We have to take ownership of our health, right, Kwavi?
Oh, yeah, we definitely have to. I attended a conference yesterday, and one of the things one of the doctors shared, and I think she might be on here, is even with COVID, we don't know, even the people that have survived COVID, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the repercussions of that down the line. Yeah. We don't even have any of that data. Yeah. So what we can do now is to find ways to prevent and keep ourselves healthy the best way we can.
Yes.
Take ownership of that. Your own health advocate. Don't wait for others to do it for you. Do it for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. We have to, as brown and black people, we have to start taking ownership.
Yeah.
I know the government does this. I know there's racism. I know there's prejudice. But let me tell you the truth. All that isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah. So what are you going to do?
Even if Donald Trump is no longer president, the joker president of all times is like, he makes people mad. He actually makes me laugh. I look at him and I'm like, is this man serious? Even if he's no longer a president, racism and prejudice are still going to continue.
Exactly. It's not going away. You have to take ownership for what you want in your life.
Yes.
Forget about the circumstances. You have control of your thoughts and what you do thereafter. That's you have that. So take that power back.
Yes. Kwavi is losing weight about vanity.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. Personally, there's a part of vanity in there, but that's not all of it. You know, it's nice, you know, you look good, but I'm telling you, being able to just be able to walk and not feel winded, go into the doctor and knowing that you don't have certain illnesses, because, you know, as we get older, they say, oh, these are certain things that, you know, you're predisposed to, but it's nice when you go to the doctor and you find out that none of those affect you. None of those, you know, you don't have any of those. So I think there's a piece of vanity, but there's way more involved in losing weight than just the vanity part. That's not everything.
Yes. And many people that are the age of Kwavi and I cannot walk upstairs.
Yeah.
And I say this respectfully. I know there's many middle-aged people on here, but we have to say the truth. There are many women in their 50s who are not able to walk up even 6 or 7 steps before they get winded. They can't walk a mile before they get winded. And that's not good.
Yeah,
Kwavi sometimes walks. Kwavi, tell them how long you walk.
Oh, sometimes I do 10 miles. I mean, I do 5 miles sometimes. And the thing is, walking is available to anyone. And depending on your size, maybe in the beginning you can do a few. Like I tell my clients in the beginning, I tell them 5 minutes a day. And the reason why I do that is because I want them to get consistent. I want their bodies to get used to doing something over time. And then eventually it changes to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then before you know it, when they don't exercise, their body's like, let's go. Because your body's now so used to it that you're now in that rhythm. So I'm telling you, anyone can move. We can all move in some way. Let us start to do that. That's a great way to kind of get you into that consistent habit. And I just got a call. That's interesting. Oh wow!
It doesn't work. I've tried do not disturb before. I think there's a way that people can bypass. So now I don't even do it anymore because I feel like it can be bypassed. That has happened to me a few times.
I wonder how interesting.
Yeah. Good. So we're halfway through. We're 30 minutes. So guys, please ask your questions. There was a comment on here, and this is so true. Bold, beautiful, and opinionated. Sorry, we don't know your name. Was saying, you know, Nigeria, African culture, that if you're given a plate of food, your parents will force you to finish their plate of food because they'll say you're too skinny. So how do we rethink and, you know, reset our minds to that habit?
All right, so that's a very good one because I even have that with my clients here that were born here. Their parents would tell them, oh, you have to finish everything in your plate. You know, there are people starving, you have to eat. And what I'm trying to train my clients now to teach their kids is to realize that when they're full, to stop eating. And the thing is, when it comes to food, and I know people are like, oh, I don't want to waste it. I'll tell you 2 things. You're either wasting it by putting it in the trash or you're wasting it on your body because once you've eaten enough, your body is going to convert it to fat. That's just the way our bodies are. So you have to make that choice. And beginning to realize that you don't have to put so much on your plate. And do this with your kids. When your kids say they're full, don't force them to eat it. Just, you know, give them smaller portions over time. But if they say they're full, just let it go. Because if not, you're teaching them to ignore their hunger signals. And over time, you know what happens? They get older. They don't realize when they're full anymore. You know, we have hormones in our body, leptin and ghrelin, that tell us when we're full and when we're satisfied. But we're bypassing that by telling them, go eat, you know, eat more, finish everything on your plate. And if you live in the States, our portion sizes are way more than we need. When you go out to eat, that is like a 3-person meal for 1 person. So
Yes.
think about that.
Yes.
You get used to that, and over time, you're going to be overweight because you're overeating.
That is very, very true. And you know what happens in pediatrics, Kwavi?
When?
The kids that are normal size, we do it by percentiles.
Yes.
So you'll never have any parents bring in a child who is overweight or obese, which is above the 85th percentile. They'll never bring them in. But the normal kids that are on the 50th, 25th, 75th percentile, their parents are constantly bringing them in. He's too skinny. She's too skinny. Can you give her some medicine to increase her appetite? But you know why that is, though? Because in class, the normal kid looks skinny.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the other kids are overweight or obese. So what we're going through in America is really dangerous, because most people, the norm is now that most people are overweight or obese. So the person like you, Kwavi, you've probably been called skinny many times.
Oh yeah, listen.
Yeah.
I have. That's a story for another day, because I have a whole story about that.
I know, and you are even an adult. You know what you're dealing with. I'm bigger than you. I'm bigger than you, and I get called skinny by people. So you can imagine a child who's little, who's on the 75th percentile, and all the kids are saying, you're so skinny, yes, and then the parents brings them to the office, and we're like, look at the graph. Your child is nowhere near skinny. Skinny is less than 5th percentile, but that's because so many, 6 out of 10 in America are overweight or obese. So our whole mindset has changed.
Yeah,
so,
and I can imagine that child, they're probably teasing her. Or
like my daughter, Moni, was always called skinny for so long. It was like, oh, she's so skinny, and I'm like, her weight is actually on the 50, her BMI is on the 50th percentile. But you'll never see them bring the overweight or the obese kids in and say, can you do something to help them gain weight? Yeah. So now obese is again, we're not fat shaming here. So please, nobody should send Kwavi and their messages. Let's just say it there. We're not fat shaming. But I do want to mention, because we have to say the truth as it is, there are many social platforms that I feel, what's it called? They augment the weight problem, because there are many adult women out there who are giving the wrong message about being overweight or obese. Yes, we want confidence in women, but we have to call out overweight and obesity for what it is. And I feel there are many, I unfollow them. I don't follow those pages. But that's because I'm a doctor. You are an expert. We are experts, we know, but many people don't. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
many people don't understand. They feel like, oh, they're just fat shaming them. But you cannot be 30 years old and be 300 pounds, and I'll tell you that's okay. I can't.
Yeah. And if you don't want to make a change, that's fine. No one is forcing you to make the change.
Yeah.
But we're just saying it as it is. Like, that's a health issue. And that, there can be complications from that. And
it's not about vanity. But what would you say to like the younger women, Kwabi, the 20 and 30-year-olds who are buying into this mindset of, I can still be 300 pounds and be confident, and nobody should tell me I can be 25 years old and be 300 pounds and I'm still healthy? What do you say to those women?
Well, what I would say though is, first of all, who is telling you that? Has your doctor told you that it's okay? And that's the real question. Because we're seeing now where, like with COVID, for instance, depending on underlying health issues, those are the ones that are getting sick. So I would really like to know, at that weight and at that age, because that's young, is your doctor really saying that's okay? Because where are you getting your information from? That's the real question. Like, where does that come from? And are you actually feeling okay? Do you have any health issues? Do you feel really healthy? I mean, that's a question. And it's not about, I would say it's not really about the weight, because we all have different sizes, body types. But at that weight and that age, do those both, because childhood obesity is real. The first race I ever ran in my life was to raise money for childhood obesity, because it's becoming a problem in the United States. And it's a real issue.
Yes.
Children should not that should not be what a child has to go through. A child should not have that. So those are some real issues, and we have to critically look at that and be honest and, give real sound advice, and not just say, oh, it's okay. You can give advice in love. you don't it's not like we're, you can give advice with
Yeah.
love, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying we need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that we hear it from somebody who's, and Agatha is also on here. These are my two, yeah,
Yay.
Agatha and Kwavi are my two weight loss people. So you guys are in good hands. Can you just start asking your questions, please? So my other thing is, how do we handle when there's and you only deal with midlifers, right? Not
I deal with younger women though. Sometimes
okay,
not younger women, but not kids, but younger
not
women.
kids, yeah, but it's the same thing. But how
Yes.
do we, maybe Agatha can type something on for us, how do we deal with that familial kind of obesity or familial overweight? Because I don't know how to deal with it in pediatrics. It never works, because if you see a 12-year-old who's over, I've seen 6-year-olds who are 120 pounds. The heaviest I've seen, Kwavi and Agatha, was a 7-year-old, actually a few weeks ago, who was like 140 something pounds. Yes, wow. This kid is not yet 10 and is almost 150 pounds, but both parents are like over 300 pounds. Yeah. They're really big. So how do we help those parents, that family out? Because I'm sure if you walked into their home, their pantry and their fridge is full of things that shouldn't be there. Where do we begin with those families?
It definitely has to start with the parents though, but are the parents willing? It has to start with the parents.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, because something like that, it would be looking at an overall look at what they're eating, what they're purchasing, and really trying to find out why the parents are overeating. Because when you're eating at that point, you're no longer eating because you're hungry, at least not physically hungry. You're eating for another reason. So I really believe with something like that, there are other issues going on. It's just not the food anymore. There are underlying issues. So that would be interesting it'd be interesting to find out, but then I don't know if they'll be willing. They have to be willing too, because they might be very defensive.
Yes, yeah. And that's why I wrote down that first word you wrote here, willingness, willingness, willingness. Kwavi said it, people. If you're not willing to help to change your life, there's no way. Let me tell you something about what's going on with us Black and brown people. And I really need a lot of humility here, because if you're not humble, things will never change, right? I believe that what's going on with us Black and brown people, a lot of it is we look without too much. We look without too much. We don't want to look within what we can do, our power. And that's basically just giving your power away to people. Yeah, so you have to be willing to say, what can I do here? We're in the United States of America. You know, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here. I understand that there's poverty. I understand there's prejudice. I understand there's racism, but unfortunately, that's still going to go on for centuries, decades, you know. So what I feel is going on with Black and brown people is we have to be humble to listen to things, because for me, and this is why I don't really enjoy clinical medicine anymore, because there's nothing you do for obese kids that works because of the parents. Because as you start to say it, Kwavi and Agatha, Kwavi, they say, this is what I hear most of the time, Black people are not like white people. Black people are meant to be heavy and they have heavy bones.
Okay. All right. It's interesting they should say that. Okay, fair enough. But that heavy? Seriously? I mean, how heavy is heavy? And even if, okay, we are, designed differently. Okay, I get that. But we can be healthy in that. We can still be healthy with the curvaceous body that we have. It doesn't mean that you have to, you see, they're buying into that stereotype. They're just buying it. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. When people come to me and say, oh, it runs in my family, I'm like, no. You know what runs in your family? Poor eating habits. That's what runs in your family. Because you're eating the same way that maybe your grandmother ate, your mother ate, and you're all eating in the same way. You need to break that cycle and make changes. Because when you start to eat differently, there'll be a change. But you're just eating the same thing you've known from the past. And it doesn't serve you right now. It doesn't. And you have other options.
Yes. Okay, Kwavi. So how does overeating, obesity, overweight lead to lack of success and poverty in life?
Okay.
because that's how I actually look at it. I don't look at poverty causing you to eat badly. I don't.
Yeah.
How does that lead to poverty and lack of opportunities in life?
Okay. One of the things I find interesting is when you start to do something you've never done before, that sense of accomplishment just empowers you. I'll give you an example. I have a client that I'm working with right now, and she's trying to lose weight. I'm working with her, and for about 2 weeks she was plateaued. She plateaued, and I told her, I said, keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Keep on. So we kept on working, and then 2 weeks ago we changed a few things. Actually, I added something else to her diet. She started losing weight, and then the last week she came back and she lost 5 pounds in 1 week. And you know what she said? She said, I now believe I can do anything. That's what she said. Because she felt so empowered. And I say this to say that when you start to do things that you've never done before, it empowers you in so many different ways. When people come in to help me, when they come in and they want to lose weight, I tell them right off the bat, I'm like, at the end of this program, you're going to realize this is not about weight loss. This is about the things you can accomplish through weight loss. Because when you start to do this, you realize, oh my goodness, I can do this. And that means I can do this and I can do that.
Yeah.
It empowers you and the effect is compounding. It's like when I have women to lose weight now, they get the effects 5-10 years down the line. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because it opens your opportunities, so many different things that you didn't think were available. Yeah.
Yeah. So which means if you take charge of your health and your weight, it can lead to more opportunities.
Oh my goodness.
It can lead to you getting jobs, lead to you starting that business, lead to you paying off that debt, more confidence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Oyin Dama Sosanya says the same thing. Losing weight changes your mindset because you have to have your mind is going to play tricks on you when you're trying to lose weight. When you can master that and manage that, then you realize, oh wow, I can do so many other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oyedamola lost quite a bit of weight. Oyedamola, do you want to share with us how much weight you lost so that people can come to your page and see? She actually, because I looked at her before pictures and I'm like, I can't believe Oyedamola was, had lost so much weight. How many pounds? And then somebody else said, allow me, saying she lost 12 kg in 3 months.
Okay, both beautiful and opinionated. Can I say something?
Yeah.
She said, folks keep telling me that I look skinny. Don't listen to people.
Don't listen.
Telling you, don't listen to those people. I'm telling you, people's opinions are going to vary from one way to the other. You will never be able to satisfy all of them. So do what works for you. I'm telling you, do what works for you. Don't listen to those people. I'm telling you.
Oh, no. And she gained it back. You see, as she gained it, and that happens a lot. People will tell you that you look skinny. They will say
Doesn't
that.
matter.
Why? Because the example I gave before, it's like that kid in the class who is normal weight, but because all the other people are overweight, they think she's skinny. Yes. So please, guys, when you're losing weight, don't listen to what people have to say. Don't listen. Oyedamola said she lost 25 kilograms.
Yeah, and she said she had that as well. People said that to her. Don't listen to them, people. Just do what works for you. Don't listen to them.
Do what works for you. Please, guys, do it. And okay, so we're nearing the holidays, Kwavi. Yeah. This is why I left this interview with you before the holidays start. Yeah. So what can people start to do now so that they don't put on 10, 15, 20 pounds before January 2nd?
Okay. So one of the things I tell my clients is there are 3 questions I like them to ask themselves. Why am I eating? In other words, am I really hungry? What are you eating? Really look at what you're actually eating and when are you eating. Now, one of the things I practice with my clients, and I know someone mentioned this on here, is I practice intermittent fasting for myself, and I do that with my clients as well, because it's a great way to kind of stick to an eating window. So you eat within that period, and the other times your body is in fasting mode, which helps to burn fat. Yes, it's a healthy way, because the thing I love about intermittent fasting that I do with my clients is I tell them to combine that with finding out if they're really hungry. Like, I don't eat in the morning, and the reason why I don't eat in the morning is because I'm not hungry in the morning. I tell people, if you're not hungry in the morning, don't eat. Don't eat because it's out of habit. If your body isn't ready to eat because you don't feel hungry, then don't eat. The other thing too that you can start to do right now is start to look at your eating habits. Start a food journal. Write down everything. And when I say everything, I mean even a piece of gum. Put it in there and put the
Yeah.
time, because that will give you an insight into when, why, and what you're eating. Because if you eat at, let me give you an example. So if you eat at noon and then maybe 1:30 you're having a snack, it's pretty obvious for me, at least if I see that you probably weren't hungry at 1:30. That was probably just maybe boredom, or you just felt like eating something, or you're watching something, or maybe mindlessly eating. And those are the things you can start to correct. It gives you an awareness, and you're like, oh, I ate because of that. I don't really need that. I didn't need that. And being comfortable. The other thing too is that being comfortable with your emotions. Because I'm telling you, there are times that you're not really hungry, but you kind of like, oh, I feel like having this, and you just use it to soothe your emotions. Your emotions are there for a reason. Just sit with your emotions and let the emotions come up and be uncomfortable. A lot of us don't want to be uncomfortable for a second. We either grab a glass of wine to make us feel comfortable, or we go no, just sit with the emotion and let it pass. And the thing with emotions, they go by really quickly. They don't stay like forever. It's like 2 minutes or even a minute, they're gone. And you realize, oh, I really wasn't hungry. I didn't really need to eat that. And then you can just kind of go on. Yeah. So those are the things. The journaling is key. Start to write down what you're eating, because that will give an insight into your eating habits. So do that first.
And be honest with yourselves.
Yes,
When
please.
you're journaling, be honest. Don't say you ate one apple when you really ate a big pot of rice. No, you're really deceiving yourself at that point. I say that with all due respect, because I see it over and over with teenagers. They'll tell you they ate one apple. They've only eaten one apple for the last 2 weeks, but they're gaining 15 pounds every 6 months. Yes,
and
let's be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adults do the similar thing too. And I tell them, stop eating behind yourself. Like it's almost as if you're eating behind you. It's like you're eating, but you think you're not eating. I'm like, you're eating.
Yes.
It's like you're hiding, but I'm like, well, you're eating. So I tell them, we have to be very honest and really take a critical look at what we're eating and decide, is it really serving you? You have the choice. If you want to keep on eating it, that's fine. But if you want to make a change, look at it and decide critically, what can you take out? Or am I eating, the times that you're eating, like I can eat less times? Because if you're eating 6 times a day, listen, most of us are eating way more than we need. And I mean it, most of us are. Mm-hmm. You can probably cut that down to 3 easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes. And find out what works for you, actually.
Yes.
Because I actually eat frequently during the day, but I eat really small amounts. People always wonder, they're like, oh, you eat quite often. I'm like, yes, I do. Yeah. But that's because I know how to manage my portions. So in the morning, I may just have my turmeric almond milk tea thing, and then I'll have a banana an hour later. And then an hour or 2 hours later, I'll have a handful of almonds. Mm-hmm. So I actually eat frequently. Yeah. Because that's just me. That's my habits. I eat frequently, but I know what I eat. And then I may have a small cup of Greek yogurt or a small cup of a smoothie. So find out what works for you.
Yes.
But if you know that you're a snacker, because for me, I'm quite a snacker. So in my pantry, I mostly have healthy snacks. I don't keep all the chocolates. We do have chocolates at home now because of my stepsons for Halloween. But tomorrow, those chocolates are going out. I don't keep them around for long. Yes. So if you're a snacker, find just healthy snacks. Sometimes I'll grab an apple while I'm walking, taking my steps in the house, and I'll eat an apple. So if you're a snacker, you can eat frequently, but eat healthy things. Yeah. Kwavi, I have one more question. Yes. 2 or 3 more questions, but I want to make sure I get all the comments in. Let's see. Dr. Julia said she was 65 kilos 3 years ago. Through healthy eating, she's now 52 kilos. I realized that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Yes. And she said her confidence is now amazing. Yes.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. It really is.
Your confidence will shoot up. Yes.
It will.
Yes.
It will.
And Dr. Julia has gone through my coaching and my online course, so I know her. She's a very determined and ambitious person. So well done. Agatha says, eat only when you're hungry. Don't overfeed your kids because they don't have enough time to digest their food.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Agatha says you may be dehydrated and then you feel hungry. And that's true. You know what I do, Kwavi?
Yes.
Sometimes if I know that I've eaten a lot that day and I'm feeling hungry again, I'll make myself a cup of green tea.
Yes.
It keeps me busy. I'm holding it for a long time and I'm just sipping it. There's no sugar,
Yes.
nothing, no calories, but it's good for me.
Yes.
Keep myself hydrated. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Kwabi, please
Yes.
touch on sodas and
Okay.
touch on portion sizes again, because I
Okay.
feel in America, our main problem is portion size.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell you this. Sodas, if you're drinking that and you're listening right now, find a way to kick that habit. First of all, sodas make us more hungry. Soda it's mostly sugar. And even the ones that are diet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really serve us. So if there's a way and you're really serious about improving your health, that is one thing that you need to really reduce. The other thing I've noticed about sodas, they make us hungry. So you have that, whatever the calories are, you're going to be looking for something else. And even if it's 90 calories, I'll tell you this, 90 calories, soda, I don't even know how many they are, 90 calories and a banana, when they go into your body, I'm telling you, they do something completely different. So don't buy into, oh, it's only this number of calories. No, there's more to it than that. Portion
So no
sizes?
sodas, right, Kwabi?
No sodas.
So we men and women, please cut out sodas completely.
Cut it out.
Cold turkey, just cut it out.
Just cut it out. Portion sizes, yes.
Yeah.
And our bodies are so different. You need to find out what works for you, because my portion size might work for me. The next person will be like, it might be too much or too little for them. Find out how much is right for you, and you will know. Now, sometimes we ignore the signal because we're like, oh, this tastes so good, I'm going to have some more. No, keep it for later, really. Because whenever you eat, when you're full, that means you're overeating. And overeating causes weight gain. Bottom line, that's it. Overeating is what causes weight gain. So rather than wasting it on your body where it now converts it to fat, just put it aside and have it for the next time. You don't have to eat it right now. You really don't.
Okay. What about those who have a sweet tooth like me and allow me?
Okay. All right.
Because I have a problem with my sweet tooth. I do, but I know how I manage as, but can you talk mine? Yeah.
All right. So with sugar, what I normally tell my clients,
ice cream.
I know sugar addiction. I see that. You know what I make my clients do? We have what we call like the toxic 5, and I get them to detox from those. So we do we call it a reduce, remove, reintroduce. Sugar is one of them, right? Because sugar is an addict. Let me tell you what sugar does. When sugar goes into your brain, that dopamine hit is real. It's like, yes, give me more. I want more. Yeah. It's like the over desire is like crazy. And it's nothing like anything else. Now, what I tell my clients, we do what we call reduce, remove, and reintroduce. So you can have, and we do for 7 days, sometimes 14, depending. So you take out sugar, we take out alcohol, we take out caffeine, we take out dairy, and we take out caffeine, 5 of them, and gluten. During that time, it's interesting because sometimes people say they can't do it. I'm like, no, this is not about you having a sweet tooth. This is about your brain already addicted to the sugar. So it wants more. And your brain is going to tell you, you know how you feel when you have that. Come on, let's get some more. So what we do is I just tell them, it's going to be rough. We're going to just reduce it for 7 days. And it's interesting when they get to that 7-day mark. And I tell them, okay, now you can reintroduce, but they have to write everything down to see how they feel. And I realize that for a lot of them, they realize that sugar is now too sweet.
Yeah.
They can't, they're like, this is too much. I can't, and then they're like, oh no, I can't have this anymore. This is way too much. Like those that used to put sugar in their coffee, they're like, okay, you know what? They'll say, okay, I want to go back to coffee, but it's too sweet now. I have to have my coffee black. And they realize that a lot of the cravings that they had disappear. Sugar will do that to you. Sugar kind of increases your cravings for certain things. And when they stop the sugar, they notice, oh, like I had a client who stopped doing that. When she had her period, where she's normally craving for different things, she didn't have the crave. She's like, I can't believe it. I'm like, yeah, it's because you stopped eating the sugar. Because sugar will, it latches onto these different things in your brain, like have this and have that and have that. And she no longer happens. So it's tough, but it can be done.
But it can be done. Yes.
For sure.
We're about to wrap up. We have 3 minutes,
Yes.
Kwavi, and I don't want to lose this video, but I'm going to ask you to comment quickly 1 or 2 minutes on these 2 things, because I don't want to leave them out. Salt, and the obsession with plastic surgery as pertains to a healthy body.
Okay. All right. So salt, reduce the amount of salt, for sure. You know, if you can cook without it, if you want to, but reduce the amount of salt. What was the other one? Plastic surgery. See, this is what happens when you get older. You forget a few things. Plastic surgery. So I say to each his own, but I say this because I have clients of mine that have done different types of surgery to reduce the weight, but they still come to me because, you know what, like I said earlier, you can do the strategy part, but the mindset piece has to be there. So they come to me to help them with that, because you know what will happen if they don't learn the mindset piece? They will gain the weight again. So I tell you, no matter what method you're using, managing your mind is key.
Perfect. Kwavi, how can people find you? Because there are many women who want to lose weight. With the business and lifestyle coaching I'm doing now, I don't begin, and people know, there's a few on here who I coach. They know that when we start talking about business and career and all that, if the personal isn't right, we can't start talking about business.
Yeah.
You're not going to be successful in your business if you don't pay attention to your health and your personal.
Yes.
So how can they find you, Kwavi?
So you can find me on my website. It's www.kwavi, Kwavi, B as in Victor, I.com. You can click on there. All my different programs are there. And the way I work is I normally do sessions, free consult sessions, because I always want to know who I'm working with beforehand. I get to know you, you get to know me. And then we decide, you know, if we can have a working relationship, like a coaching relationship. Yeah.
Okay, good. And I will put this, we'll have another session, guys. I'll bring Kwavi back, and I'm also going to bring Agatha back. Agatha, check your DM. I need you before the holidays. So guys, this is going to be on my YouTube if you missed it, but I'll bring Kwavi back. I'll bring Agatha back. We need to continue the conversation.
Yes.
Thank you, Kwavi.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone listening. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.